Welcome back to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast with me, Tony Murrell. This week's special guest is Olivia Eden, a glamour model, fitness professional, and someone who's lived a life far more complex than what people see online. In this episode, Olivia opens up about her journey through the fitness industry, the misconceptions surrounding glamour modelling, how she deals with judgment from people who think they know her story. Olivia speaks honestly about what it's like to have your entire world flipped upside down overnight. It's raw, surprising, and a lot deeper than you might expect. Thanks for listening and watching this episode.
When they're prosecuting against you, they're like, this happened. And you're like, no, it didn't. You're thinking, who are all of these people? 3 weeks later, giving evidence against you. I know I sit here like, everything's all right, but it is hard.
Welcome to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast with me, Tony Murrell. And this week's special guest is Olivia Eden. Really looking forward to sharing the Good, the Bad and the Ugly. How are we?
Hello, I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for agreeing to come on.
No, thank you for having me.
No, listen, appreciate it. You know, following the podcast and we got in touch and listen, really, we love it when people reach out to us and stuff, and we reach out and you know, and you agree to come on, and you have got a story. You know, it's certainly had...
Story and a half.
Certainly good, bad and ugly. You know, ex-fitness model, bodybuilder, now glamour model. But your life's been majorly on hold for 2 years while you've been on bail for... you know, you were possibly looking at going to jail for 10 plus years for firearms offence, but you were found not guilty after trial.
Yeah,
so...
firearms allegations.
Allegations, yeah, allegations, so let me get that in there. But you listen, so let's get right into it, Olivia. Where you're from, where you grew up, family life and school life was like?
Oh, so I'm from Nottingham, like a little mining village, and I grew up, it was such a nice upbringing. My parents were great. I was a dancer from 6, so I've always been covered in fake tan and eyelashes and a little ballerina. So I was well educated, well, academically educated, you know, did well at school, college, everything like that.
What was school like for you? Did you enjoy going to school with your friends and stuff? And
I enjoyed my friends. Yeah, I enjoyed
enjoy
that,
the
catching
school?
up. No, not so much the school. There was a couple of times where I probably didn't go when I missed the bus when I should have gone.
I think a lot of us done that.
Yeah, but no, it was all right. I passed all my tests and A-levels, things like that. Not that I've used them. I don't think area of a triangle's come in handy so far, but...
But what was the career path you were looking to go down while you were doing all that?
To be honest, I didn't know where I was going. You know, at A-levels, I did uniformed services and politics, did photography, I did a bit of psychology, and I just didn't go down any of those. I was like...
It all went out the window.
Yeah, absolutely. I tried. I thought, let me give this a go, but I thought, no, none of them... I don't think you do know what you want to do at that age, do you?
I think you get to a stage where you think, was that for me, or is that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get that crossroads, don't you, sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just knew that nothing I picked was sitting right.
It wasn't sitting right. How did you get involved in the fitness industry? Was that early on, was it?
Yeah, so I think with my dancing, I was a ballerina with the wooden blocks in your shoes and everything. So I've always been around fitness and music. So that was a huge part of my life. And then I went into the gym, started training, and I used to see on Instagram, magazines, everything like that, just women in fantastic shape. And my coach for bodybuilding, when I decided to go into it, was Michelle Brannan, and she was I think she was like the first female bodybuilder. She was, you know, bikini fitness. Yeah, not like the physique. It was bikini fitness. I thought, oh my gosh, I want to look like you. I thought, how do I look like you?
How do I get to that?
Yeah. Like, where do I go? I've never been out of shape. I've always been athletic.
Looked after yourself and stuff.
Yeah, I've always ate good. I mean, obviously there's days where you don't, but...
Tell me about it.
There's obviously those nice days, but yeah, I just thought I need to look like you.
Yeah.
Like, you're incredible.
So, you know, when you obviously got into it and stuff, what was it like you got out of it? Was it like, you know, what was it that like sort of pulled you in? But then what did you get out of it? Like after, you know...
A major discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah, absolutely. I think because of the volume of food that you was eating like 6-7 times a day, and they're not small meals either. You know, like when you're gaining the weight. So it's almost becomes like an OCD, because if you didn't eat at 6, 8, 10, 12, if you missed one or was a bit late, you then weren't hungry for your next meal. So it was almost, your life does revolve
routine,
around it.
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Even when I used to go away, it'd be 5 or 6 pack-ups if I was just going out with the girls for the day, or going out overnight. I'd take all my food in like little freezer bags. That's honestly, it takes over life.
Really?
But looking back now, I used to be so critical of my physique. Like, you know, you constantly compare yourself, don't you, to people on the stage. So I used to be like, okay, I need to train harder, I need to improve here. But now I look back, I'm like, oh no, I was all right. I was like, there was no need for
Is
me.
that just a mental thing, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're just always looking for ways to improve. And obviously you see people who's been doing it 15, 20 years, and you're like, right, I need to look like that. Why don't I look like that yet? Because it's like, you know, when you diet, you do it for like 3-4 weeks, and then all of a sudden you look in the mirror and you go, oh, it is making a difference. But then you don't see anything for another 4-5 weeks, do you? And then you go, oh no, yeah, this looks a bit better. So it's constantly in the mirror just chasing.
Yeah. How long was you doing that for? Was it a couple of years? Was you doing that, or?
Yeah, it was a while. I think I was with Michelle for 2 years, and then I did a little bit after. But then I decided to go back into more dancing, you know, like flexibility, mobility, and trying to get my long lines back.
Yeah.
Reduce the shoulders a little bit.
Yeah. So what was it that drew you towards modelling?
Well, it was fitness to
Was the
begin
fitness,
with.
was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because people would reach out. You know, when you see your Instagram and everything, photographers would reach out and want to do photo shoots with you. So you really did start building good connections. And there was a gentleman who put me in a fitness magazine. I think it's Surreal in USA. So I started getting in magazines, and it just goes from there. You start reaching out to more people, getting more connections, and you start to get more known as well. Like, people start to pay attention to you, you know, like when you're on certain other pages and photographers. So it's just
all a network, and that goes.
Yes, yeah.
And it's, you know, it's only good, but like, in, you know, going and being in magazines in America and stuff like that, it's, you know, it's worldwide, isn't it? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely. And my husband was fantastic. Like, he was very more
Very supportive.
Absolutely. He was like, you need to do this, like, make sure you do these photo shoots. He was so good, because I always remember him saying, you know, when you're 30, you'll look back in your 20s and think, oh, why didn't I make the most of what I look like? Yeah. He said, then when you get to 40, you'll think the same when you were 30. You was like, oh, I should have done that photo shoot. I should have done this. So he was amazing. Really did push me.
So did you go and travel? Did you go round and?
In the UK, yeah, I'm always up and down the country.
Yeah.
Always, yeah. It's long. Like, sometimes you're in London 1 minute, and then you're back up here, you're back up north, and then you're back in the Midlands. It's everywhere.
Yeah, so you're all over the place.
Yeah.
So was it, you know, was glamour, like, say, glamour modelling always the path you wanted to take, or did it just happen?
Wow, I feel like it manifested in the most bizarre way. Because when I was growing up, because I was always into like makeup, just looking good. I grew up with, I don't know if you'll know, do you know the Girls Next Door? Can you remember Hugh Hefner's girlfriends?
Yeah, yeah.
Like Holly, Bridget and Kendra. They did a TV series called The Girls Next Door, and it was all about living in the Playboy mansion. I thought, I want to live in the Playboy mansion. Like, these girls are beautiful. They've got such nice clothes, and they just look happy. And Jodie Marsh was a massive impact on me. Can you remember when she did the army belts?
Yeah.
I was 9 when that was in the paper, and I was like, I need to be in the paper. I was like,
from that young, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It always stuck with you, did it?
Always. And she, to be fair, you know, thinking about it, she was probably an impact on my fitness as well, because I remember her doing a short series or like part documentary where she did bodybuilding. I think, did she do like 6-8 weeks?
I'm sure she did something
Yeah,
like that,
and then she brought out a fitness line with, like, I think it was called Semtex or something, and she had the onesies, and I had all of that. So I think maybe subconsciously she
inspired you.
No,
really.
she did. Absolutely.
But you know what? You just gone on to my next question. You
Oh,
just answered
sorry.
it. No, that's great, because what I'm saying is, like, you got the likes of Jodie Marsh, who, you know, who inspired you, you know what I mean, and stuff. And it's great that you can look up to someone like Jodie Marsh, because, you know, she's done so much for, like, glamour models and stuff, but she also put a spin on things and done other things other ways, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now look, she does all the, she has a farm,
Yeah,
doesn't she?
yeah.
I love animals. I'm all for animals and protecting them. And it's just amazing.
It's great.
And she's a massive inspiration
Yeah,
in my life, Jodie Marsh is.
Was there anyone else outside the modelling that inspired you as well, or was it just Jodie Marsh?
I feel she was definitely
She was the one.
Yeah, she was the one.
Yeah.
Her and the girls next door at the Playboy Mansion were idols.
That's it. You know, some of the biggest misconceptions people have about glamour models. Some of the biggest, you know what I mean?
Oh, I feel...
What you know, your opinion?
Yeah, well, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but I do feel it's very... You're all painted with the same brush, you know? And especially now it's more acceptable because before there was only 5 or 6 girls like Jodie Marsh and things who did it, wasn't there?
Yeah,
like big names. Now it's a lot more acceptable, but then there's also... It's opened everyone's eyes to the other types of glamour work.
Yeah.
That maybe people don't look so favourably upon, which
people will always have a say on it.
They always... No, yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but... You know, being in it, everyone's amazing.
Yeah.
No matter what, there's no judgment within the...
Yeah.
No, there isn't. The girls, we never judge each other. Like, we're all
support each other.
So supportive. It is crazy how I've had more support from girls I've met a couple years.
And worked with and that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're all just rooting for each other.
But that's good though, because I'll be honest, you know, my perception would be like, oh, be dead bitchy. You know, you don't want, you know what I mean? But if you're pushing each other to like, you know, come on, you know, and you could be having a bad day or whatever, and
they pick you up
and
off
they pick
the floor.
you up, that's what I'm saying.
They do,
yeah.
They absolutely do, especially, you know, when you get to go on photo shoots with the girls and there'll be videos on Instagram where we're doing each other's behind the scenes and you can literally, someone's taking a video of me, I can hear them in the background like, yes, you look amazing, like, and I think, how nice is that?
Yeah, you know, but it's good that you've got that though, do you know what I mean? Where, like I say, just that was just my opinion, thinking, is it really like that? But what like you're saying,
no, I've never come across it. All the girls I've come across are rooting for each other.
That's good though. You want to see each other do well and along the way and saying, you know, go as far as you can and do whatever you've got to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, how much has the industry changed since you started?
I feel like it has changed. There's not as much magazines anymore, is there? Like, there is magazines.
Funny enough, we said this before.
Yeah.
We've said this before, didn't we?
There are magazines, but even now, you don't really buy magazines. They're online. Like, you can download them to your phone. So I think that's been a massive one. You still get the newspaper.
Yeah.
I've still been in the Sunday Sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the midweek sport on Wednesday. So I still feel like the newspapers are a thing. It's just a lot more online.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's the way, like, what same society is today. Everything's all technology, you know, stuff like that.
Massively.
When back in the 90s and stuff like that, 2000s, it was you know, if we didn't have as much as it's all techie now with all social media and all the platforms and stuff.
And there's so much more. Like before, you just used to have like the call lines, you know, on the phones and things. But now there's like internet sessions. There's a lady I had on the other day on about dominatrix. And do you know what I mean? There's just so much to it. There's so many layers that people don't understand. Not everyone's the same. We're all actually massively different. We all have different levels. We all do different things, but we're all under one umbrella.
No, well, that's good though. You know, it's getting that insight, because this is why we wanted you to come on to explain, because people have this perception of glamour models and stuff, and it's hearing it from you, your story, where people can go, oh yeah, this, it's that, it's... They don't fucking know the half of it.
No, they don't. They really don't.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's good that, and you're coming on and you're so open and you're so honest about it. But do you think social media has made things easier or harder for models today?
It's easier for reach. Like you meet people easier, don't you? You don't have to actually bump into people. Someone could just see a picture and you can get to know each other and collaborate with people. But at the same time, it's harder.
Really?
Yeah, because everyone does it. Do you know what I mean? Okay. There's a lot more girls interested in doing it.
Yeah.
And now it's more acceptable.
And that word acceptable, Olivia, is like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, glamour models have always been around.
Always. There's always been page 3.
It's always page, funny enough, me and Ben were speaking about it before. And, you know, we remember, like, you know, when there was page 3 and stuff like that. Now, people be like, oh my God, do you know what I mean? And like, it's always been there. It's always been there.
You just see it in a shop, like just at the front of a magazine.
You just don't see that now at all. Like, it's mad.
No, I think it's society today where everything's all, something can get blown up out of nothing.
Yeah, out of absolutely nothing, it can be made.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just think of it and you think, why? Do you know what I mean? It's always been around. No one's hating nobody.
No, that's it. You know what? As long as nobody's hurting anybody,
exactly.
I'm like, you go get it.
Yeah,
like you
go
do
and
you. Yeah,
you do you, and I'll do me. And
Yeah.
if you've got nothing nice to say, don't fucking say it.
No, and that's it.
This is the thing.
But none of us girls do. That's the nicest thing. Like the community doesn't.
But that's a good.
Yeah, we don't say negative things about each other. We're all fully supportive.
That's good. It's good because people will have that perception again of going looking. I bet you it's all bitchy and no one wants to see anyone do well and whatever. But like you're saying, it's totally the opposite. You're all rooting for one another. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you faced challenges with stereotypes or judgments, and how do you deal with them?
I haven't heard any.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, nobody's come up and said anything like
negative or yeah.
There's been no negative opinions or anything directly towards me. What people say about me when I'm not there is none of my business.
What you don't know. Don't
no, that's anyway. It's none of my business. Like if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. It's not how I feel.
Yeah.
Like I'm still gonna have a good day.
Well, listen, it's you're such a positive person. Do you know what I mean? Where I think as well in the industry is like glamour models and stuff like that. Is some people don't know how much hard work goes into it. People just think it's this and it's that.
No, and you know what? It's crazy how much hard work goes into it. Yeah, it really is. You know, when you start taking things into consideration like travel and living out of a suitcase. My suitcase is never put away ever. It's in the spare room. I take out things that need washing or put new things in, but it's always out because one day I'm, like I say, can be at home and then they'll go, okay, there's a shoot the other side of London, which is probably 3.5 hours away, in 2 days. See you there. And you're like, okay, see you there.
And you're there.
Yeah.
You know, like you say as well, your husband's very supportive.
Massively supportive.
He's on side.
He is my #1 fan, I promise. You know, when I first started doing my Instagram, he used to take all my pictures. Yeah, he used to take them all. He'd be like, oh no, just move this way a bit, move that way. Like, he was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good that you've got that though, do you know what I mean? You're a team and look, he's fully supportive.
Yes, absolutely.
Because a lot of people would probably be like, oh, I couldn't let my wife, or whatever, go and do, shoots and stuff like that. But it's like, he's fully behind you, he supports everything that you do.
I think he likes it.
Yeah?
I think it's nice. Who wouldn't want their wife on a magazine and...
Be proud of, and stuff like that. And, I think it's great that you've got that, you know what I mean? Where
my gosh.
A lot of people will probably go, oh, no, I don't know about that. But that doesn't, other people's things doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. And like I say, there's so many different levels, I think people just, now, now what we were saying earlier, people just assume everyone's very hardcore.
Yeah.
Or, not that there's anything wrong with it. Like, do you.
Yeah.
Like, whatever makes you the money and you're happy with, do it, please.
Yeah.
But I'm a topless model.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not, anything that people share or say about me, I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing my picture. Like, what?
Well, this is it though, isn't it? You can, to be, like you say, in this industry, would you say having tough skin and whatever? Because obviously people will always have opinions.
But I never hear them.
Yeah, but for you personally, I mean, for other girls or whatever.
It must be tough.
Yeah.
It must. You see a lot of girls get trolled and things.
This is what I mean. That's what I was trying to relate to.
Yeah, a lot of people do get trolled online, and like you say, it's little things that have nothing to do with anybody else's life, but all of a sudden it's a huge thing, and it's like, who's that interested? I almost have the blinkers on. I'm like, this is what I'm doing.
Are you just
today.
in your lane?
Yeah, I need to do this. I think I don't mind what people do.
Yeah,
as long as you're happy and you're not hurting anyone.
This is it.
Yeah, like, why not?
That's it. What's your proudest moment so far, Olivia?
I'm not sure about proudest moment. I have so many happy
moments.
Yeah, I have so many happy moments. Like getting married, it really is the happiest day of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really up there. I think it's probably #1, to be fair.
Yeah.
But even just being a ballet dancer, that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with the wooden blocks in your shoes, and it's it really is an art. So it's like, that was really nice that I could do that.
So you've got lots of happy moments, really.
Yeah, so many happy moments. Getting my dog. Like,
you're a big dog lover, yeah.
I have so many happy moments, but I think probably, to be fair, probably me and my husband having each other's backs as much as we do.
That's a biggie, isn't it? You know what I mean? You're both supportive of one another, and like you say, it's, you know, a lot of, and people, it doesn't really matter what other people say really, but, you know, people, you know, what you do, you've got your, that's the main thing, your husband's got your back.
Him, yeah.
And he's fully supportive, you know.
Massively supportive.
You know, you can't get much bigger than that, you know what I mean? But what's behind the scenes reality of glamour modelling that most people wouldn't expect?
Probably how unglamorous it can be.
Really?
Yeah, probably how unglamorous it can be.
Come on,
you know, like travelling,
yeah,
living out of a suitcase, stopping at services for your dinner. Do you know what I mean?
It's not all like the glam.
No, it really isn't. And you see us all made up like now and on photo shoots, but you know, half the time I'm in trainers with no makeup on, with a cap on, so nobody sees, going to the gym. And it's like, it's not all...
It's not all glamour.
Not 24/7 anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
No, not 24/7. But I would say the travelling for sure and the living out the suitcase is what people probably don't realise.
Well, how do you balance the public persona of Olivia Eden with your private life? How do you get that balance? Or is it all as one?
Yeah, you know what? It's all as one. I'm very much, you know, if I'm doing something, like if I'm out with the dog, I'm out with the dog. You know, if I'm on a photo shoot, I'm on a photo shoot. Like if I'm on the phone, I'm on the phone to the person I'm talking to. I'm just in the moment with whatever I'm doing. So
you just take it as it comes.
Yeah, take it as it comes. It's not a...
You haven't got to sort of switch off from that side of what you do, you know, for your job and that, and then when you get home life, or is it just all as one? Is it anyway? Is it just...
I think it's just all as one.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't expecting that. I thought it'd be like you've got to sort of switch off and then just home life.
I never switch off. No, I don't. I wish I did.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those when you like, it's a very interesting episode, this, because, you know, people, you know, will always like, they'll have some kind of say on, you know, this and that. But it's when you're saying, you know, I've only met you 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago, and you're so bubbly, you're so energetic and stuff like that. But finding out exactly what, like, you know, the graft is behind glamour modelling and stuff like that, and how hard, you know, like you say, it can be hard where you're travelling up and down the country with a suitcase and stuff like that. Does it ever take its toll on you, though? Does it ever really take its toll on you?
I think unconsciously it does. You know, if I do get a rare day off, it'll be, you sleep for 12 hours. You know, it's just waking up and thinking, let me just sit, have a coffee with the dog. Let me just not do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost as if you're like, your body forces you to just relax. Just, this is your day off and we're making you have a day off.
Bit of you time, that's it.
Yeah.
You just know, and you know yourself sometimes, you just think, I'm going to have a bit of me time today, just that's it. I'm just going to have a day off and just relax and do normal stuff and that. But Olivia, this is a bit of a, what's name this one, where this question about how your life was turned upside down for being arrested, you know, for firearms and stuff.
Yeah, firearms allegations as well. It's not even like it's a...
Do you know what, for a glamour model, you know what I mean? When obviously you reached out to us and we were speaking and we talking and stuff, I was blown away by your story, because I was thinking, how can a glamour model be arrested for firearms offences?
That's what I thought.
You know, allegations, yeah. Let's get that in there. What can you remember the day? What happened?
The day that I was arrested?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I remember even... Do you want me to set the scene for you?
Yeah, go on, love. Yeah. Go on, please.
So I remember the night before, super stormy, awful weather. I was out walking with my dog, Ernest, and he's a big American bulldog, old-time English bulldog. And I was walking in the fields, coming down a jitty, like, lane, going home, and there was a man and a dog. And my dog, Ernest, he's really good, very protective, but he really didn't like this man. Didn't like him.
There's something about him.
Yeah, and I was really apologetic. I'm so sorry, doesn't behave like this. And when I tell you, this man and the dog didn't even care. Usually dogs like retaliate a bit.
They sense something, don't they?
Yeah, but his dog didn't care, and he just completely blanked me as if I was not there. I thought, how peculiar. So anyway, I go to bed, and I remember I woke up and I thought I'd left the side gate open because it was so windy. I remember waking up thinking to loads of banging. I thought, gosh, if I forgot to shut that gate, heard the dog barking, I thought he'll be all right in a minute. And then all of a sudden I just heard, please, please, banging on the door. I thought, bloody hell, I better get up.
What's this about, like, yeah?
Yeah, so well, my husband was arrested 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we'd already had the firing squad and everything at the house. So obviously I was never expecting myself to get arrested. But when I heard it was police, I thought, okay, like,
What?
Yeah, right, what do you want with me, you know?
Did it source the penny drop? So you've been out walking the dog, and that fella the police officer?
So I've then ran downstairs, put Ernest in the kitchen, shut the door, because obviously, you know, he's going to be upset. People are trying to get in the door. I've looked out the window before I've gone down the landing, and they're there with the pepper spray in the door, and I thought, that's for my dog, you know? So I popped him in the kitchen, answered the door, and there was just like probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 coppers, which I thought was a bit excessive for at the time a girl in her 20s. I thought, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I would just open the door, and there's obviously said, you're under arrest for this, that and the other. But at the time I only had a big pulley on, didn't have any, because I was in bed. So I kind of covered myself. I was like, can I just go and put some clothes on? And the man, obviously the person came in with the warrant to say you're under arrest. The man who I saw the night before came flying in.
That was him?
Yeah, it was him, and the dog knew. The dog knew. He knew that obviously he must have raided our house. I think we've been raided about 4 or 5 times over the years.
Yeah.
So Ernest, he knew. He was like, when I was walking the dog out, because I remember, and it will be on a prison call, I remember saying to my husband, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going off with the dog. Like, he must be really missing you. I can't cope if anything happens to him. Because I was worried about Ernest. I thought, what if someone says he's a violent dog when he isn't?
And they try and take him away from you?
Yeah, he says, I can't have that. But no, he was just protecting me. He knew. So I thought, you must have either been here 3 weeks ago, or raiders before. But Ernie knew. They're not getting past Ernest.
Yeah. But you know, when they've come in and obviously, like you're saying, you wanted to go and put some more clothes on and stuff like that. Would they find, like, what's the name in you, or would they just, like, would they really, like...
You know what? And I will give it to them, as hard as it must. It's not hard to say. They've always been really respectful with me. Always.
Yeah.
The people that raid your house, they've always been, because obviously there's different police officers and things, isn't there? But I'd obviously covered myself, so can I go put some clothes on? They follow you. They can't not follow you, because you could be doing, well, I wasn't doing anything, but people, you could be doing anything. You could be flushing, you could be...
Doing anything.
Yeah, so I was like, could I just put some clothes on? Came upstairs, put some clothes on. Gave them, they took my phone, gave them the pin. I was like, I've got nothing to hide, take my phone pin.
Do whatever
you
want to do,
because I could brush my teeth, let them brush my teeth. I went downstairs, and then obviously the dog was in the kitchen. So I was like, you are not taking my dog. You know, like, I'm not leaving this house until I know my dog's going to be all right. So I gave them my mum's number. I thought so they rang my mum at about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Your mum's like,
come and get the dog. Mum's like, what's going on? So I said, okay. And you know, it wasn't an arrogant like interaction, but it's a very common police tactic that they come for the wife, you know, to put pressure on the husband, you know, like they'll arrest your girlfriend or your wife or anything, just to put that pressure on. So I was almost, I was just like, oh, okay, like, let me sort my dog out. And I even said to the gentleman, I said, how long is this going to take? Because I'm at the hairdresser's in a few days. Like, but it wasn't rude. I was just like, no, but you know, because when you've not done anything, I was just
you're not involved in any like that. It's just like...
No, so I was like, how long is this going to take? Like, I've got appointments and things, you know? So they just put me in the car, never handcuffed me. I've never been handcuffed. No, never. And I always think that's like a quite respectful thing, because they could have come.
They could have been heavy-handed and just like handcuffed and stuff. I
do think that it's a bit, when it's male officers arresting a woman.
Was there no female officers?
So no, there was no female officers, and that was another indication to me that I thought maybe that this isn't really serious because female officers,
Normally,
they come and they arrest you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if it's a female, but there was none. It was all men. So I just went out in the car, and even one of the police officers, he was like, "You're very calm and like you're all right."
But did they say to you what the charge, what they were looking to, what they were arresting you for?
Yeah, so I was arrested for conspiracy to. Was it? I think conspiracy. I don't know what the first charge was because they lessened it.
Yeah, yeah.
When I was actually charged, but they came in guns blazing, pardon the pun, and it was like conspiracy to sell or transport firearms with the intent to endanger life and money laundering. So these are like, I was just like, this is.
So what's going through your head though, Olivia, when you're in?
I thought this was very excessive. You know, because I've not done anything wrong, and I know that they do come in like arrest the wives and things.
Yeah.
I've been raided so many times before.
And nothing's...
Yeah, and I was just kind of like, okay, let me just get. And I'm not not argumentative in an aggressive way. I'm very much like.
But your limits, you get pushed to your limits.
Yeah. But I was just like, look, this isn't necessary. Let me just get in the car. I'm not one to be like, I'm not getting in the car.
Kicking off and all that.
Yeah, because what is that going to get me? You know, like when you're in a cell and you hear the person kicking the door next door, you think, these cells are made of steel. Like, they're probably laughing at you. I thought, I'm not going to embarrass myself like that. I'm not going to start kicking doors and things. So I just got arrested and they just took me to the local police station.
Custody suite and stuff,
Yeah, custody.
What, what's going through your head, Olivia? What happens next, when you're in custody and stuff like that? Hiya everyone, sorry to interrupt this episode, but here's a quick one from me. If you're enjoying the podcast and you enjoy what we're doing, you can now buy us a coffee. It's a simple way to keep those stories coming. No subscription, just that one-off bit of support. The link's in the description. Now back to the episode.
So I'd not had anything to eat. Obviously they come in straight away, and I think with my husband being gone for 3 weeks, at the time I was like, no, I'm fine, it doesn't matter. But then you think, actually I didn't really eat and didn't really want to get out of bed. So I think looking back, it does take its toll, don't it?
Of course it does, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, is it okay? Can I have a menu? And this isn't rude, they have menus, like at the police station.
Yeah.
I was like, can I have a menu? So I can have breakfast. I was like, yeah, of course you can. They can have a coffee. They were like, yeah, no worries. They obviously strip search you, book you in, say your name and everything, and then they just take you to a cell, like a holding cell.
Was that scary for you, or was it just?
Well, I think the thing with me is that I know I've not done anything wrong, so I was kind of like, well, I haven't done anything.
So
like what, and I'm very much, I don't get into my feelings very much. I'm like, okay, these are the cards I'm dealt. What can I do to make it better? So I'm sat in the cell and I thought, okay, I'm not coming out at the minute. What can I do? I thought, let me do some stretching, let me do some press ups, some sit ups, just because you always feel
just trying to pass time.
No, not that though, but you feel mentally better after you've done a bit of exercise, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't do much exercise. No, I get what you mean. Like, you feel better. I go for a walk.
Endorphins. Yeah, that's it. So I thought, let me just do this. Let me gather my thoughts a bit. The lady comes in and is like, do you want mental health? Are you okay? I was like, yeah, honestly, I'm fine. Let's just get on with the day. I asked for a book. They have a library. So I had a book, read a book. But there was at one point where I was sat there. I thought, oh, it must be about 9 o'clock. Because bear in mind, I've been took really early. I thought, oh, it must be about 9 o'clock now. I thought, oh my gosh, I've got clients. Because I'm a skincare specialist, self-employed. So my husband had built me like an at-home studio. I thought, oh my gosh, I've got clients today. I had 3 ladies booked in. They're going to my house and the police are just emptying it. I thought, oh no.
What am I going to do?
Well, what are they thinking? Because you have clients where you're really professional with, and then you have clients that are, obviously, I'm really, like, all my clients are amazing. They're all really friends with them. But then you have like your friends as clients, people you've known for 10 years where you go, oh my gosh, they'd be like, oh, it's just one of those things. And then you have the clients where you think, oh, I know you're on the phone to your friend, like, I've just been to my facialist's house and it's being emptied. Because I did get in touch with one of them after, and she said that she went up and the police were just like, no, you're not coming in, she's been arrested. And she was like, what's happened? Like, is everything okay? He was just like,
wouldn't disclose to it or
yeah,
nothing.
no, they was just like, no, leave. But I thought they said I'd been arrested. So it's like, if it's your husband, it's a bit of a lesser blow, isn't it? Like, but then when it was me, I thought, oh no, these are my clients.
Right, yeah.
So I was thinking about that for a while. I carried on reading my book, but I didn't get interviewed until about 7:30 at night.
You
They
kept in the
left me
cells all day.
all day. And I have no idea why, because usually they interview you, don't they? And
yeah,
get on with it. But I was still there till 7:30. And I remember prior to that, I said because I didn't get a shower. So I said to one of the screws, I said, can I have a shower? And she said, no, you're not allowed one. I said, well, I've just read this code of conduct and it says after I've been in a cell for this long, I can have one. She went, oh, people don't usually read that.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, she was like, oh, well, yeah, we can have one after your interview. I was like, thank you.
Put it right in a place.
Yeah, I know. Well, I thought. So then I had my interview. My interview was ages.
Did he?
Over 4 hours.
So 7:30 you got seen and then another 4 hours on top of that?
Yeah, 4 hours. It was a long interview. And obviously I'd spoke to my solicitor prior. They come down.
Yeah.
And she obviously advised no comment because it turned out to be a 5-month operation. You know, like surveillance, where they've been following me for 5 months and other people. So she was like, you can't, there's no way you could answer this. And obviously you have to take into consideration that what you say in an interview, you could
be used against you, can't it?
Yeah, and if you got something wrong, say if I said, I don't know, I went for breakfast, but I really went for lunch, it's a massive deal, but it isn't. You know, it's just like a little, it's just a misunderstanding. You think, oh, I must have gone for breakfast that day, but if you had gone for lunch,
they just, it gets twisted big time, doesn't it?
It's massively twisted. It's one of them where if you're inside, you should be outside. If you're outside, you should be in. So she just had no comment. So 4.5 hours of no comment.
But they just firing at you all the time.
Yeah, just question after question. And I turned out to have the longest interview. I don't know why. When it got to trial and there was 7 other people there, they read out your interviews and things. I thought, why was mine 4.5 hours? Why was everybody else's like half an hour?
Yeah.
But so yeah, I had my interview, went back into the cell, and I thought, oh, I'll be going home soon. And bear in mind, this is probably 11 at night. I thought, oh, I'll be going home soon. And then I don't know who he was. He wasn't a officer. He had like a shirt on. He wasn't in uniform, so he must have been
CID or something, or investigation. Yeah.
He came in and he was like, "Oh, given your interview, we've applied for an extension and we're keeping you because obviously you can't police custody 24 hours,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and he came in and was like, "No, we're keeping you." And I thought to myself, I was like, "Yeah, no worries." I said, "Can I have something to eat? You know, like, can you get me something?" He was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And I remember him shutting the door and thought, "Oh, I hope I'm not on next bus." I thought, don't put me on that next bus to prison in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah, because I thought, I've not done anything wrong, but...
What, do you think you're going to get remanded or something? Or?
Yeah, well, yeah, because there's serious offences. Yeah. And my husband being who he is, like, he's been accused of many of things. I think he'd just come out of a 20-year sentence when I met him, you know? So, but obviously I didn't know him. I think I was 12 when he went to prison. So I didn't even know who he was when I met him. And... that's a whole different story.
Of course, yeah.
He's fighting it in appeal and everything prior to this.
Still to this day, yeah.
Still to this day, yeah. He's like, not done it.
Yeah.
He said, not done it.
And I think sometimes when you've done something, sometimes you'll hold your hands up. But if you're adamant, you stand on his ground and listen, good on him. If he,
fighting it, honestly.
I believe in that though. It's like if you haven't done so, if you're banged to rights, you'll hold your hand up.
Yeah.
But if you haven't done it, you fucking put your feet on the ground and you don't move.
Believe me, he's not moving.
He's not budging.
No.
Good on him.
Yeah, he was very... I'm absolutely not having it. Mm-hmm. So where was I going?
So you were saying you were worried that you think you were going to be on...
Yeah, because obviously, like, being married to him and then he's been...
Yeah.
I thought he'd be coming out after he was arrested. I thought my husband isn't involved in this at all.
Yeah.
So when he didn't come back because he was still having a recall, so he'd still got a bit of his last sentence to do. So they just keep you, don't they?
Yeah, to finish the rest of the sentence.
And I just immediately thought, I've heard how they've treated him in the past. I thought, they're now going to do this to me.
Yeah.
You know? So I thought, I've not done anything, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did try and remand me.
Yeah. And going through your mind, Olivia, you're probably thinking, oh my God, that can't be, this is what they were saying and stuff like that. You must have been thinking, how was your mental health and that, Olivia?
Well, you know what? When I was having the interview and it was like 4.5 hours, I became deaf.
Was it just going in, but it wasn't registering?
No, honestly, yeah. I thought, especially because it was a no comment interview, I was very and I was tired. I'd been there all day.
Into the
you
night,
know,
yeah.
and I was just, I didn't hear what people were saying. I was like, it was just noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't really, I thought, oh God, don't put me on the next bus in the morning. But then they didn't. They still kept me. I think they kept me well into the afternoon.
So
like,
you were well over 24 hours.
well over 24
Did you get bail
hours.
then? You got put on bail?
Yes, I got put on bail.
Yeah. So when you were on bail, your life's on hold, really, isn't it?
No.
Was it not?
No, it wasn't. Purely because I thought to myself, these people are trying to put me in prison. Yeah.
Trying to stitch it up.
These people are trying to put me in prison, and I either make 2 years of progress or I just enjoy the 2 years. I end up in prison and I've enjoyed every day.
Yeah.
You know? So I thought I could have been remanded. And I thought, how great, how weird to say, but how grateful that I'm on bail.
You could have been on the other side, where
Yeah, I could have just been sat in a cell waiting
for the trial. So obviously it was taking 2 years. The trial date set for 2 years. Was that right?
I was arrested in 2023. Trial was set for April 2024, but then it got adjourned to January 2025.
And you know what? It's like you're saying, like I say, your life's on hold, but obviously you've turned a negative into a positive by, listen, I'm going to live every day here and do what I've got about my daily normal routine.
Yeah, because I thought to myself, I've not done anything. I thought, so I'm going to work and I'm going to make 2 years of progress.
You carried on just doing what you were doing?
Yeah, well, I amped it up. Because obviously my husband wasn't here. And I thought, it's hard. Believe me, I know I sit here like, everything's all right.
But listen,
but it is hard.
Of course it is, yeah.
And so for me working, I wasn't thinking. It was days were going down, there was being knocked off, and I was just moving forward in life. I thought I will make either, like I say, 2 years of progress, and then being found not guilty, I hit the ground running, or 2 years where I've enjoyed every day, I've made every photo shoot count, I've worked harder, and then I end up sat in a cell for, imagine if I'd been found guilty.
10 plus years you're looking at.
Imagine if I'd been found guilty and I'd been sat in that cell wishing I'd have took advantage of the days that I had. That was my mental state. I thought, no, I'm enjoying today.
It's mad how you think of it like that, because
you have to.
You're positive, because some people, in situations where they go, fucking, it's doom and gloom, but they're like overthinking.
But I've not done anything.
Yeah.
I knew, I was like, well, I haven't done anything. So
But with that though, Olivia, even though you haven't done anything, and a lot of people will say how corrupt.
It's not great.
Listen,
there's good and bad. No, it's one of them.
Of course, there's good, bad, and ugly, isn't there?
Yeah.
Right, so I've got to get that in.
Absolutely.
But people will say, within the police, within the courts, within the government, within society today as a whole, right? People will say there's corruption, right?
Yeah.
I know it's a big word, but let's be honest, where you haven't done anything right. You're just moving about your daily life and doing your daily stuff, just excelling.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, Olivia, something that you haven't done, you're getting slammed for 10 plus years.
I know.
Because, and that's the flip side. So even though you haven't done it, there's so many people that there's been a miscarriage of justice.
Well, my husband.
Well, there you go.
I believe him.
Yeah, well,
I do, no matter what.
And listen, you've got your husband's back, and that's it. You've got what's saying to be like that. But there's so many people who've been in your husband's situation who've gone to jail for something they've never done, and then 25 years later they get found that they shouldn't have been in jail.
And they take the time.
That's
what I'm getting at. They don't want to let you out.
No, do they?
No, those letters that usually take a week to come through.
Oh, they get lost in the post.
Absolutely.
They go to Thailand and back 60 times.
No, they do.
Do you know what I mean? They do.
But people, and you know what a massive thing is, what I've realised, you hear about it, like I've heard from my husband, and I've seen things that weren't right, and you believe it happens, but when it happens to you, you're like, no. You're like, what? You can't say that. That's not true. But you really do think, oh, like they're bad.
It's no, and you know what? I understand, because I can see, type of person, you know what I mean? You can see that, I haven't done it.
Yeah.
But you've got it, when you see so many things on the television or whatever, where people have been slammed for something that they haven't done.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's scary, because when you genuinely haven't done something wrong, but then you end up going away.
Yeah, and it's your life, isn't it?
You lose it, you lose your life, you lose time, you know what I mean?
Well, this was another thing. Like, I think when you are faced with these things, you have to think positively. you just have to. And I was thinking, if the worst happens, God forbid, if the worst happens, I thought, okay, if I get 10 years, what's that, 5 or 6 serving?
2/3 in it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, well, my charge actually got lowered. So it was conspiracy to transport and sell firearms without the intent to endanger life. So I'd done half. Yeah, so where was I going with that?
You know, were you just saying about, obviously, if you would have went to jail, if you would have went...
Yeah, so obviously I thought, okay, right, 10 years, say if I did half of that, which is 5 years, I would be in my mid-30s. I'm thinking, okay, you're not old. I mean, if my husband goes to prison, which he did, he got 23 years.
Yeah.
My husband's 62.
Yeah.
And he's just been served a 23-year sentence. So it's like, I had to be so grateful that, okay, if the worst happens, you know, by the time I'm 40, it'll be a thing of the past.
Wow, it's mad when you put it like that. That's the positive side of it.
You have to think of it like that. You would go insane if you didn't.
Yeah.
You know, and there's also people, I just kept thinking, there's people that's given months to live, and I'm complaining about my life being put on hold for about 3 or 4 years. Never. Who's to say I've got 3 or 4 years? You know, we're all on borrowed time, aren't we?
You don't know what's going to happen.
No, you don't. So I thought, how ungrateful of me to complain about the position I'm in. But how ungrateful, because there is always somebody worse off. There's somebody wishing they could do 4 or 5 years in prison. Isn't there, though? No, but there is.
Yeah.
You know, like, say if you are faced with a couple months left to live, you'd be thinking, God, I wouldn't mind 4 years in prison. Yeah, but you wouldn't, though, would you?
No, it's good you put it like that.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
It's good that you've got that spin on it, though, do you know what I mean? And,
yeah.
But, do you know, so when you're leading up to the trial and stuff, what was it like, you know, building up to it and stuff like that? Was there obviously many meetings with solicitors and stuff?
Yeah, loads. And my barristers and sisters were London.
Was the, yeah?
Yeah, so there was always like a couple hours or a train journey, but I didn't mind. Because I was like, I'm grateful to get on a train.
Yeah,
you know?
to take your mind, yeah.
So I had to sign bail every Tuesday and Friday to start. So I had to
you had to go to the police station?
Yeah, I had to go to the police station, sign bail twice a week.
Could you not leave the country?
No, I wasn't allowed to leave the country.
Take your passport and that? They
didn't take it, but it was in my conditions. Like, for the first, I'm not sure, was it like a month, 2 months? I wasn't allowed to stay overnight anywhere else. I had to stay in my address that obviously I was arrested from my house. I had to stay there. Wasn't allowed to leave, like stay overnight, or I suppose be out late, really. Didn't have a curfew, but they said, look, you sleep here.
You stay, don't move from here.
Yeah, you're sleeping here.
Yeah.
But I don't mind, because I thought they do follow you. Of course.
Was you being followed not by them?
So, you know, when obviously my brief at the time had said this is a 5-month operation, they've been following you for 5 months, you then notice the same number plate. You know,
same colour car and all that.
You notice the guy sat on the table next to you in Starbucks that hasn't got a coffee and he's just scrolling like this. And then when you move table, he moves to a closer table. You notice those things that you wouldn't notice in a daily life.
Really?
You know? But on the other hand, I did have allegations against me for transporting and selling firearms. Of course they're going to follow me. Especially with up and down the country I'm modelling. They probably think, what's she up to?
Yeah.
So it's not... They were doing the job.
I get that.
Annoying as it is, but once again, I was like, follow me all you want, I'm not doing anything.
But that's what I'm saying. If you know you're not doing anything, and you've been arrested, you've been, you know, and all that, and then you think to yourself, because a lot of people would spin it the other way and be like, just be dead awkward and just be like, create problem. You know, they've made my life a misery. I'll make their life a misery.
I think I'm a bit too cheeky. I'm like, I'll have a little joke with you. You
know?
No,
but you know what I'm saying, don't you? You know, a lot of people would obviously have that spin on it and think, you've made my life hell, I'll make yours. Do you know what I mean?
But I don't want to make the lives hell.
Yeah, you just want a normal.
Yeah, just let me be me, you be you.
And that's it. But you know, when you said you're up and down, and what's your brief saying and your barristers and stuff, what are they?
Well, they were like, this isn't good, you know? Because conspiracies are hard.
Yeah.
Because there's no evidence, you know? There's an evidence that something happened, but all these other months before you've been followed, it's a theory. It's a police officer saying, okay, well, you was here at this time.
With this person.
I think you've spoke about this. So unless you have hard evidence, like, actually, I wasn't doing that when you followed me, it's just your word against theirs. And unfortunately, this is I don't want to say it to be rude or negative, but police officers' words are more trusted. And I think with things that come out and the level of, I do think that they shouldn't just be instantly taken as good character.
Taken sides straight away.
Yeah, I do think that's, especially with conspiracy, like you say, because it's theory work.
Yeah.
You know?
It's their say. It's that thing, what you're saying, really, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and unfortunately, when you are in court, they say it as a fact. You know when
that's the gospel. That's what
when they're prosecuting against you, they're like, "This happened," and you're like, "No, it didn't."
No, it never.
You're like,
"No, it never."
Yeah, no, that never happened. So it is hard with conspiracies.
What getting to the trial and all that. What was that like, Olivia?
What, the trial?
Yeah.
Well,
it went on for a while, didn't it?
17 weeks, Monday to Friday.
17 weeks?
Yeah, 9 till 4, Monday to Friday. But obviously I was there, I got there early. Like, I was early today. I'm always early. I'm early everywhere. But I thought, if I'm late, I'm being remanded. So I was on the hour before train. I was like...
You're getting there, yeah.
And staying later, obviously, to be with your briefs and to talk about the day and what's next, everything like that. So there were long days. Like, I don't think people realise it's Monday to Friday. It's not just a quick trial.
17 weeks is that's some...
January to May.
Was it?
To the end of May, yeah. So the first whole half of this year.
It's nearly 6 months of the year,
honestly,
isn't it?
I was talking to the girls the other day and I was like, I can't believe it's October. I feel like I've only just woke up. Because the first half of the year I was just in a...
You listen, your head's, in the what's name with this, what's hanging over you and stuff, even though, you haven't done what they're saying. And like you're saying, conspiracy's a big thing. It's a... And
you get longer.
Of course you do,
You get longer for conspiracy because they say, well, we don't know how long it's been going off. So
and like you say, it's their say that it's as if it's the gospel, like you said.
Yeah, they do. So the trial was, but then again, I was grateful to even be let out.
So to go, I mean, obviously you could have been on remand, couldn't you?
That's it. So I'd go in the morning, go into court, I'd get let in by one of the dock officers into the dock, and then I'd wait for my husband and 6 other people to be brought up from a cell.
And you were
all screw by screw. Yeah, everybody's got a screw in between them.
All sat in the dock together?
Yeah, all sat in the dock. And then, I mean, I get to go at the end of the day. I get to go and get on the train and walk my dog, So it wasn't...
Was that a scary experience for you, Olivia, or...
I don't...
Or was you just...
I was just thought, this is the cards I'm dealt.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, because like I say, I know I've not done anything. I don't believe my husband done anything. Still now, he told me it's not true. I believe him.
Yeah.
And how nice, you don't understand how even the judge commented on the bond me and my husband have. So I've gone from visiting him 3-4 times a week. I'm now seeing him every day.
Yeah.
I'm sat in the dock with him every day and I'm like, I've missed you, you know?
Even though there's a screw in between you.
Yeah, but I was never alone, ever. Because I thought, who better to go through it with?
Yeah.
It's not like I was just up there on my own fighting a losing battle.
It's like when you put it like that, it's very, considering... you were going to see him maybe a couple of times, but then you're seeing him every day.
Every day. But I used to get excited, but obviously not for the situation I was in.
Yeah,
but it was exciting to see him. And when you go and visit prisons, they really do, when you dress, like it has to be trainers, it has to be like not skinny jeans and have to have your shoulders covered. So for me, I would go to court dressed like this with a jacket over the top, blazer. So I was like, thank goodness he will still see that I'm a girl.
Yeah.
Like he will still fancy me.
Yeah, fucking hell. No, but you know what? It's like that's an daunting experience for you all, and then you've got the jury and stuff like that. And when the passing sentence, what was that like, Olivia?
So I think that was the only moment throughout the whole of the trial, I remember taking my prison bag. My barristers were like, look, don't be foolish because you could not be believed. They could go, you know what, we think she's involved.
You're getting
slammed.
And
he said, and how gutted will you be that you haven't took a prison bag because you don't think you're going. Yeah. So I remember walking in, took my prison bag in, got locked in, screws come up, they looked through it. And I remember them locking the door and I thought, oof, what if they don't believe me? You know, I thought, that's it, I'm not going back out.
Fucking hell. It's a scary experience. I mean.
But luckily for me, I take pictures of everything.
Yeah.
And I take videos of absolutely everything. So throughout the whole of the trial, there was probably 4 or 5 days of observation, because I didn't know. I got my case summary, which is probably about 15 pages, where it's like important days of surveillance for me. I gave my barristers the defence statements. Obviously, when I downloaded my phone onto a new one, all the pictures and evidence had to support it. And I remember getting to trial, and there was folders like this. There was 2 folders
all your pictures
each.
and videos.
Yeah, every phone call over 5 months, pictures, videos, everything, like observations. I was like, what? I didn't even know that this was happening. But I was very much, I'm not involved, not interested.
So you're not bothered. Whatever you find, I'm not bothered.
Yeah, but I didn't even, I remember my briefs saying, like, you need to look at what other people are saying so that they're not affecting you. I said, listen, I don't know these people. I know probably 2 or 3 of them, on one of them being my husband and one of them being my really good friend's husband. I was like, I'm not interested in what people are doing. I don't care. What can you say about me? You don't know me. So I was like, I'm not interested. I just had my blinkers on. I was
Straight
like,
in that
listen,
lane.
this is what I did.
Yeah.
Here's my evidence to support it.
There you go.
Yeah, because there was a few times where obviously we were talking about corruption. I hope the things done to me were not intentional. I hope they weren't.
Yeah.
But there was a few...
Questionable.
Yeah, there was a few things that just, like on one day of observation, police officer obviously followed me all the way from my house to my friend's, whose husband was on trial. We was really good friends, Botox, brunch, you know, but she lived about an hour away. She got kids, so I always went to her. Just made sense. I don't have kids, you know. I have less responsibility. I don't have to be places.
So she's not bringing the kids all the way
No,
over.
of
Yeah.
course. And he'd followed me from a house, and I remember I'm always dead early. Always. Everywhere
early
I go,
bird,
dead early. Yeah, because I always trying to count. I think, okay, what if there's traffic? That might be 20 minutes. Let me make sure I go. Don't like being late.
Yeah.
So I remember sitting in the Starbucks at the service station near her house. And luckily she messaged, see, this is the thing. I feel like sometimes it's somebody's looking over me, because she'd messaged me saying, oh, just to let you know, I'm early for a change. Something like that. I was like, oh, babe, I'm sat in Starbucks waiting for you. I'll come to the house now. She said, do you mind picking me up? Do you mind driving? Do you need the loo? 'Cause she lives behind like huge gates. I said, no, I don't mind driving. I'm here. She was perfect. I'll come straight out. So I picked her up literally behind the gates. Went 2 minutes I was there. We left. Police officers followed us. I even did a 3-point turn in the road because there was loads of roadworks, and I waved. Didn't realise it was copper, but obviously he said it in his observations that I even thanked him for allowing me to do a 3-point turn. I'm a terrible driver anyway, you know. But she was like, obviously I don't know the area very well that she lives in, so she's like, okay, turn around. So he put it in his observation. He was this far from me, perfect view, clear day. Went to brunch. Luckily, I took pictures of brunch. I had the Texas to support it. I took a picture of my breakfast with her in the background and sent it to my husband like, oh, babe, got this for breakfast, you know. And this police officer went in and said, I believe she dropped off Firearms in the 2 minutes she was there. She went straight home and she was alone.
And that didn't, obviously, that was just so untrue.
But imagine if I wouldn't have taken the pictures and had the Texas.
Exactly.
Imagine if I wouldn't, it would have been my word against his.
And this is what we're talking about like, they go on the gospel of like...
They say it like it's fact, and he followed me. He even thanked me for doing a 3-point turn. There was no way you couldn't have seen her in my car. I've got pictures I've got the Texas leading up to organising it. I've got the Texas of the day of her like popping in, do I need the loo? No, right, I'll get straight in. And
that just backed it all up for you, didn't it?
But imagine if I didn't have it.
You could have...
Imagine.
You wouldn't be sitting here telling us.
No, I wouldn't, because there was quite a few things like that. Like that was one. Another one was where a couple of my calls were missing. That was on my phone, calls that I know I'd made.
But they were gone.
But they were missing, and obviously it had been looked like there was a conspiracy. You know,
as if you've deleted them or whatever.
No, they just took them out. So they've gone, oh, well, look, he's rang her, she's rang him, he's rang him, they've rang them to make it like fit their narrative.
What they wanted, what
yeah, so I think, I remember looking at it and going, no, that's not what happened. I said, get my phone. And the calls were on my phone. And they said, okay, the calls show on her phone, but we don't know if they connected. Luckily, this day was when my husband was arrested. So there's the firing squad at the house. There's guns pointing at us. There's police
Firearms officers
everywhere.
and that,
Yeah, and I was on body cam literally saying to the police officer, I'm going to ring my solicitor or barrister. My husband, I need to tell him my husband's here. Can I have your name? That was all on a police officer's body cam. So luckily I had that to back up that the messages, the calls were made.
But even though the call was missing on the phone, on the handset?
Yeah, it was missing.
Wow.
But imagine if I wasn't so...
You're on the ball.
Yeah, it was. I was like, no, this happened. I'm like, no, this happened, not that. Imagine if I was like, oh, well, I thought I did this and just let it go. But I don't know why it happened. I don't know why the calls weren't there. It could have been an error. It could have been a mistake. But I'm just really grateful for body cam footage.
Do you know what, though,
Yeah,
Olivia?
I'm
just like, I've got my thing of it. And I just think, for you not having them pictures of like your food, your messages, your calls...
Yeah.
You'd be fucking in jail now.
I know. No, I know.
You'd be in jail now.
No, I would. There was an implication that me and my husband were, because on this day of when somebody was seized with firearms, there was a picture of somebody giving him a box that had firearms in it, and he was stopped, resisted arrest, refused to tell them who he worked for, and said look, I'm a drug dealer. I didn't know it was guns. He was never charged. Never even charged with possession, you know? So that's not my business.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with me. But then they said, obviously there was surveillance on me and my husband as well. And we'd gone, because Halloween was on the way, we'd gone into the cornfields to take pictures for my Instagram for Halloween. And their implication was we'd gone trying to bury firearms in these fields. And luckily for me, I had a video. But it's embarrassing because these get played in court, you know.
In front of all, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a video of me and my husband. I mean, once again, thankful that I record everything, being inappropriate in a field.
Yeah.
So but then that's played in court. But it's like we was doing this. We weren't burying firearms. We was.
But you know what though, and listen, everyone's to their own, Olivia. But the thing is though,
thank goodness.
There again, you've recorded something because you're like. Listen, you know, it is what it is. But obviously, when you're in a courtroom and there's all people there,
it's embarrassing.
You know,
it's embarrassing. But
yeah, but listen, it got that situation that they were trying to implement, saying that you were burying firearms.
Yeah.
And okay, you just were doing what you were doing. That's your business.
I know.
But obviously, it is. But it got you out of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was so much like that. Yeah, I remember giving evidence. So I was giving evidence for 4 days. Yeah. 4 days.
4 days.
4 days. And did you know, I didn't know this, but when you are giving evidence, you're on your own. You're not allowed to talk to your counsel.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
You can't look at them and ask them what you're going to say next.
No, but even after.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to brief. You're not allowed nothing.
Because the case can collapse, can't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they can say that you're like manipulating evidence.
You canoodle. What's the name? Not canoodling. You can. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
No, you're what's in confined and stuff like that. And you're trying to.
I couldn't talk to my husband because he was Code.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed to talk to him throughout all of my giving evidence. And I thought that really I remember standing up there and I thought, I'm on my own. Yeah. I thought these people are trying to put me in prison. I cannot let them.
And you're starting to realise, you can think to yourself.
Yeah, I thought, okay, no, seriously now. Like, I never took it as a joke, any of it. But like I say, I always tried to make it positive. That was your
approach though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, I've got to make a positive out of a bad. But I remember thinking, right, these people are trying to put me in prison. Do not let them. Don't let them. So it was, so I can't see very well, long distance. And I wear my glasses, I don't. And I remember thinking, right, put your glasses on, you know. And I remember standing there and I just saw all these eyes that I'd never seen before. I know that
I can see
vaguely, who it is, but I don't know where you're looking. And I remember seeing them all and I was like, no, thank you. I was like, I can't. I thought, this is, all of a sudden I've got all these eyes and I'm up and there's everybody here. I thought I've really got to make sure I don't go because this is it. I gave my counsel.
I was going to say, what was your counsel like?
They advised me to not give evidence.
Really?
Yeah, they said that there was enough supporting evidence that I didn't need to talk. Like
they said to you, don't take the stand.
Yes, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because they believed my case was strong enough to fight it without me talking. And also I've spent every day with these people and they saw how I am. They're like, this is very serious. And you're just like, if worse comes to worse, it's 4 or 5 years. They're like, no, you can't be like that on the stand, because they'll think she's joking. She thinks this is a joke. She's wasting our time. So there was a little apprehensive about that. And also how my husband, because I'm not even thinking about myself. I'm thinking about him. I'm like, how do I protect him? So they didn't want it to, like, it's hard because you can, like, what's the word? They can easily try and manipulate against, try and imply something and go, oh, but your husband, and you go, oh, but you know? So, like, play tricks.
They try and trip you up and stuff.
Yeah, but I remember thinking, you can try and trip me up all you want. You will get the same answer. Yeah. Like, there's no tricks here.
There's nothing to fucking try and stick me on, no.
No, there wasn't. And I remember once there was some text messages from... So the whole thing was a little messy. And I think it does show that it's I just must look dodgy, because my best friend, my good friend, husband was on trial. She was never even questioned. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
We both weren't involved. I would never in a million years wanted her to have been in the same situation as me, ever. But her text messages, there was a couple of text messages that the police were trying to implicate, was referring to...
As if it was something back to that.
Yeah, but I thought, but you haven't asked her. So how can this be used as evidence against me?
When you haven't even spoken to her and stuff?
Yeah. And there was some redactions. Obviously, if you stand your ground and you ask for things, like they will give. If you say, look, this happened, and they go, you know what, that happened, here's supporting. I remember I was giving my evidence. They was asking me about these text messages. Well, some of them had been redacted, nothing to do with me, but it was hearsay about my husband and her husband. But obviously it's come from somebody who's not been questioned. You don't know if it's true. And the implications weren't about firearms, but they were trying to say that they were.
They were just,
Yeah, so some of them had been redacted, and there was, I remember there being times. So, when people talk in army, like they go 8 o'clock's 20:00. And so there was some times there and the police trying to implicate it was money. And I was like, absolutely not. Like what I just said to you, people talk in army, they don't...
Talking in the lingo and all that,
I said, look, I turned the page, I said, look, I even replied to the message saying, babe, I know your times are right. I went, look, my message was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, my message wasn't there. And I was like, no, like this. And my barrister could see, like, something's not right. So he stood up and said, like, to the judge, I think this is a legal matter. Can the jury please
take this into consideration and all that?
Yeah, please leave.
Oh, yeah,
so, Yeah, so the jury left, and obviously they said, look, we don't know why. Because I would say my timings are right. I've even put it in the message. I believe that the numbers you're saying, like 15:45 is 4:45.
Yeah.
8 o'clock is 8 o'clock. 22:50 is 10 to 11. So I've literally gone, babe, I know your times are right. And they're trying to say it's money, and my message isn't there. So the police were really nice. The CPS were like, yeah, we'll put your message in. Of course we will. But we're also going to put in the message about your husband's the hearsay about your husband. I said, you can't do that. You're not going to do that.
Oh, my God.
You're never, ever in a million years going to try and make my husband look bad when he's not done anything.
Yeah,
and it's hearsay. So the messages stayed out.
Really?
Yeah, I would never do that to my husband.
Of course. No,
never in a million years.
But it's like when you say...
But I remember looking and I was like, where's my message? I was looking at my brief like, what's going on?
But we'll put that in, but then what's the name this? It's just fucking...
Yeah, there was loads of little bits like that. But I hope it wasn't intentional. I hope it wasn't. No, I do. I think things happen. People make mistakes. There's printing errors.
When people are looking at major years, though, Olivia...
I was looking at major years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When people's lives rely, something... I understand human error happens, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. When people are looking at big jail and that, you know what I mean?
Remember, there was how many people was I on trial with? I think it started at 8 and then it went to 7. So, you know, there's 7 trials. It's 7 separate trials. No matter it's all in one.
Yeah.
It really isn't. There's 7 different trials going on all at the same time. So things do happen. Things do get missed. Things, you know, but all I am grateful for is I take pictures and videos of everything.
Yeah.
That is all I'm grateful for.
And it's sort of, it's backed you right up. But from then, and the jury come and all that, what was it like when they read the verdict out? What was...
So that day was really bittersweet for me. Massively bittersweet, yeah, because obviously my husband was found guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did your husband get?
23 years.
23 years?
Yeah.
So
23 years.
when you're are you in the dock with him when he...
We're all together, yeah. So he was number 1 on the indictment and I was number 4 out of 7 people.
Yeah.
And
So he gets sentenced first?
yes, it goes down. So it'll go, he had 3 counts against him and a couple of other people had 3 counts and I had 1 because obviously the money laundering wasn't.
Yeah.
I think that was just like, you know, they come in guns blazing. So did the first count, said my husband, and then went down. So he was found guilty. And I remember just being like, oh, you're joking. And I just looked at him and he didn't even look at me. And then it went down.
He's probably in shock.
And I wasn't, and then I got not guilty. And I was just like, I remember just taking my headphones off and I was just like, thank goodness. But then they read another charge out that he was on and he got guilty again. And then he read the 3rd charge out and he got guilty again. And I was just like, oh my goodness.
To run concurrent and all that, was it? Did he say to run alongside or anything with the
Together.
Yeah, all together.
Yeah, so not one after the other.
Yeah.
They run together. But obviously my husband was recalled. So his remand doesn't come off. The 2 years that he was there, he's finishing his last sentence.
And then he's got 23 to do.
Yeah, and then he's got 23. So that was, yeah, I know. I was so happy. But then at the same time, I was like, oh, what do I do? You know?
You know, like you say, in one breath, you're buzzing because you've been found not guilty.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, your partner in crime, your husband, I say partner in crime, you know, like I say, no, I won't. So, but like I say, no, your other half.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to say. No, your husband, who's always been supportive and he's just been banged with 23 years.
Yeah.
You know. So that emotion you must be feeling.
Yeah, it was really like, this is it. Like, deal with it.
So you come out the court and...
Oh, I remember, I didn't get out the dark. Not for a bit.
Even though you've been found not guilty, you can leave the dock.
So everyone got sent down. Everyone got took down to the cells, but obviously the jury was still in. And I remember the dock officer looking at me going like, open the door, like, you can go. The judge just, you know what the craziest bit was? After all of that, they literally just stood up and was like, okay, see ya. Like, you've been found not guilty, bye. You know?
That was it?
Yeah, that was it. And I remember the dock officer went to open the door. I was like, she was like, what? I said, no, don't open the door. The jury was still in. I thought, I am not letting this jury watch me leave with a prison bag because they were thinking, she thought she was going to prison. But obviously I didn't think I was going to prison.
That was what was in your head?
Yeah, I thought, I'm not letting them, I'm not standing up and letting them see me trot out in my Louboutins with a prison bag. Like, I'll wait until they're gone, thank you.
Yeah. Is that what you were thinking, yeah?
Yeah, because I thought, they don't know me. And this was a crazy thing when trial started. I remember going there, I don't know these people. I know my briefs. I know my husband, know a couple of other people, but all of these people in the court were constantly like, oh, good morning, saying like, calling me by my name, my marriage name, morning. I remember thinking, who are all of these people? I just thought, how do you know me? And then 3 weeks later, they're giving evidence against you. They're the coppers that have been following you. But I think, you know what's crazy is they think they know me. They think that they've followed me.
You befriend you, don't they? They try and befriend you and stuff.
Well, you're not going to befriend me, but, but they think that they know you. And it's like, you don't know me, you've just followed me for 6 months. You don't know me.
Yeah, you don't know me personally.
No, you don't know me. Please don't address me like that.
But that's what they do though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they was like, hey up, and I'm thinking, hello?
Who's got the front to do that?
The police and things, you need them there. You do. But it's one of those where, do you use your powers for good or do you use them for evil?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Good, bad or ugly.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
You know what I mean? But you will get, the police are there to do, to serve the public,
Yeah.
There's good, there's bad and there's ugly.
Yeah.
Simple as that. There is.
There's all three.
There's all three.
Unfortunately, I just got the bad side.
I think, and I think, the most definitely, because, like you're saying, things were going missing, which could have said, you could have been sat in, in a prison cell. Do you know what I mean?
I know, especially when you've been followed as well. I think that was the one that did it for me. When you've actively followed me and just decided to say no.
Yeah.
And then saying that I went straight home. But I did a 3-point turn in the road and thanked you. But thank you for letting me manoeuvre. And then I've gone to breakfast. Well, my life was very much like that, even on trial, because you don't, when you're the accused, you don't get any relief. So thank goodness I'm self-employed, because Monday to Friday for 17 weeks, you're losing your house. Imagine if you had a normal job.
So it's over, what's that? It's nearly 5 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
5 months payments on your house.
So luckily I'm self-employed, so I'm going to court all day, walking my dog, coming back, I'm squeezing skincare clients in the evenings. On a Friday, I'm driving straight to the studio because I'm Babe Station TV presenter
You're
for the
host,
daytime.
yeah.
So I'm driving straight to Babe Station. I'm on TV. So I'm on trial in the week and then I'm on TV at the weekend like, morning,
But you know what? That's the balance. That's so, Olivia, that's...
doing photo shoots, I'm squeezing photo shoots in. So if obviously I'm south, I'll go, okay, let me just nip to London after the studio, go back to the studio, do the next day, go home, go to the gym, get published in a magazine, I'm in the newspaper, and I'm on trial in the week.
Was it publicised as well, or...?
No, the trial wasn't.
Good.
No, but I meant I'm in the newspaper, Glamour modelling.
Yeah.
I'm in the midweek sport, and my brief's like, oh, what have you been up to this weekend? And I'm like, oh, buy the newspaper, I'm in it. I'm on a bike in latex.
Yeah.
But that was my life. But like I say, I was either making 2 years of progress or I was making every minute count. And I mean, I was squeezing those minutes out of the day.
You were making the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I conference host as well at a hotel one day a week. They were fantastic. They just let me, obviously they was like, listen, come back when you get found not guilty.
They supported you, they stuck behind you.
Massively, yeah, really did. And especially if I was shifted to work and I had to nip to London. I can't not nip to London and see my briefs. They was like, listen, go. And I remember one day, I was scheduled to work and there was an unexpected visit, a family visit with my husband in Manchester. So these visits, oh no, it wasn't Manchester, this one was in Nottingham. But these visits are like 4 or 5 hours, and they're family visits so they can sit next to you. The grandkids, kids are running round.
Yeah.
And I remember just ringing work saying, look, I'm not coming this day. I'm sorry, I'm not. I need to spend the time with my husband. And they were like, see you next week.
They were fully supported.
They were like, no worries, see you next week.
They got it.
I still work there 1 day a week now.
Yeah.
Can't let them go. Love them.
Well, that's, they had your back, didn't they? Do you know what I mean? And I think, obviously, yourself, you're a loyal person who's like, look, what they done for me, I'm going to stick by them. And,
absolutely. And I love that job.
Well, that's it. And, you're saying after your trial and stuff like that, and, during the trial, like you said, you're going to host on Babe Station and stuff. Even though after everything that's going on, you're sitting in a courtroom, you're on a trial.
And then I'm just on the TV.
And then you're on the
weekend.
TV. I just...
Like, morning, everybody.
Yeah. it's absolutely crazy, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, obviously, you've been found not guilty, moving on with your life. How did you move on? Obviously, you're still obviously going to visit your husband and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't miss a visit.
Yeah.
Don't miss a single one. Never will. He's close by as well.
He's local, yeah.
So he's only about 40, 50 minutes from where I live. Even, you know what? Even when he was in Manchester, that's about 2 hour drive, just over 2 hours.
And then
I made a day of it. I was like, okay, girls' day. Let me go take myself to Starbucks, get my nails done in Manchester. So I'm there really early. Go on my visit. They had a photo booth. We had a photo with each other every week. Monday was my favourite day of the week. I was like, this is... Yeah. So obviously I visit him all the time.
Do you know what? Olivia, you're such a positive person. Just considering, the circumstances and stuff like that, because your story's an absolute what's the name one, because anyone else, like, I know you're just such a positive person. You're one of the most positive people we've ever met, probably. But considering your husband's been put in jail for that amount of time, and you're going to visit him, and
listen, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
I could have been in prison, not even talking to him every day. My phone rings, he can ring me whenever he wants, because they have phones in their cells now. So as long as there's credit on the phone, he can ring me, I can visit. It could have been worse.
The situation you've turned from a very, very bad one into such a positive one.
It wasn't ideal.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal,
No,
of course
it wasn't ideal.
But it's great that you're still so positive, and you know what? It's great that there's people like yourself who are so positive considering the circumstances and that. But what's been the good, the bad and the ugly, Olivia, in your life?
There's so much. There's so much good. Every day there's so much good. The bad is probably, there's a bit of interaction with the CPS.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ugly is probably, it's probably me in the morning before I put all my makeup on.
No, that's great. You know what? What's next for you, Olivia? Any projects or passions outside?
Yeah, we've got, oh my gosh, I've got loads going. So, like I said, I was making progress. So me and two of the other girls who we're really good friends with, we've got the girls next door, the Playboy one.
Yeah.
We've done the babes next door.
So that's your spin on it?
Yeah, so it's like a YouTube, and it's people, cameras, going to glamour shoots, just our life. So we've done that. I've got so much going off.
Have you?
Yeah, I really have. I've got loads of things in the pipeline. I've got some things with my flexibility and my dancing again. I'm just going to make something of myself.
So that's where you're going with it all. No, that's brilliant to hear. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. What would you tell yourself?
I mean, look, there's certain things that I don't know. One bit of advice.
Well, I think I wouldn't be where I am. And I'm all right where I am.
So you're happy with everything?
Yeah, I am. Things could always be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, you're such just a positive person, aren't you? You know what?
Like I wouldn't tell myself to do anything different at all.
Yeah.
No, even given the circumstances.
The circumstances.
My husband is everything.
Yeah.
And I think, be a good wife,
That's what you're being
I wouldn't...
I'd say, I always ask this towards the end of our episodes, like family life today, and obviously, I know you're there visiting your husband every week, is it, or every couple of days?
Every week.
Every week.
Yeah, I get one a week, and then every now and then I get two a week.
Yeah. So, like yourself, you're saying you're keeping busy, going and seeing, keep doing what you're doing and stuff like that. And
yeah, I've got my family, I've got my mum, my dad, my brother, really good,
supportive,
close friends. Yeah,
got a good friends network as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All support.
That was one of the things. When this happened, you really do think, okay, even people you've been friends with for years, where they've told probably the odd fib, or you think, okay, listen, these allegations against me are serious. I can't have any outside noise. I need people I can trust and who
your
support me.
circle's small,
yeah.
innit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you don't need all that carry-ons.
No, you don't, and people love it. As bad
people
as
love
it
all that.
Yeah, they do. I remember my mum, bless her, she works in a pharmacy. Somebody came up to her, like an old friend or whatever, and was like, oh, I've heard your daughter's in a bit of trouble. She's got involved with drugs, hasn't she? And my mum was like, my mum goes, it's Firearms, actually. I thought, that doesn't really make it better.
But you know what?
She was like, get it right.
Yeah, good on your mum, though, to put them in there, But you know what?
People love it.
People put the 10 pence worth in, and when it gets to there, it's £1 million.
Yeah, and they don't want to believe.
Yeah.
The story's better.
People dwell, people love all that.
And
they
love a good. They don't want to
jangle.
think, oh, actually, she's not guilty. They think,
oh yeah, you got your eye wiped, didn't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but like your mum saying there, well, no, actually, it was Firearms. So
I know.
But good on it, though. Do you know what I mean? That's your mum quick on her feet there.
That doesn't make it better.
Listen, she was quick on her feet, though.
Yeah, I know.
So, what's in the pipeline for Olivia Eden? Everything.
Absolutely everything.
And anything.
No, if anything, this has taught me, say yes. And when? Tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's no rainy day. there's no saving these shoes, or yeah, we'll
Live every day.
yeah, we'll do that next week. No, why not tomorrow?
No, that's brilliant. How can people like get in touch with you, or you know, anyone who's had a similar situation, or any like the girls who are into the glamour modelling and stuff like that? If they want to, you know, any advice, how can they contact you? You've got a website? Have you got any
I've got my Instagram.
Your Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram and Twitter.
So what's your handles for that?
My Instagram is Olivia Eden TV.
Yeah.
And my Twitter is Olivia Eden with a X, like
Yeah.
a kiss. Yeah, so my DMs are open. Anybody wants to
Reach out.
Yeah.
And listen, you know, you're at the end of the year, what's saying to give them advice and help them out. But Olivia, that was a very, very interesting episode. And
I hope I didn't talk your ear
no,
off.
listen,
I know, you know,
this is what you're
sometimes
here
I
for.
just keep going.
This is what you're here for. But I just think, you know, your story was a very interesting one, and an insight to glamour modelling and you know, and stuff like that, but also how your life was nearly tipped upside down. And I just want to say thank you so much for sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly.
No, thank you for having me. It's been amazing to meet you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.